thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. My own father served during the Second World War. I wish I had asked him more about the war. This is exactly the time to do this. Let's have the conversation now. And it's probably just as meaningful to you, but it's probably more meaningful to your kids and all those other kids that never got a chance to talk with their dad.
Herbert Ian Nogler, and I was born in Moser River, Halifax County.
Do you remember by any chance your regimental number?
It's my regimental number, SF58559. You remember the strangest things sometimes.
Yeah.
I had a rifle of .303, and that was my weapon until somebody shot off my shoulder. But anyhow, that serial number, if you ever run across it, the 64L2640 is the number of that rifle.
That's the serial number.
That's the serial.
Wow.
The last I seen it, it was laying about as far as here to the pole, and it had a hole in the butt. When I was shot, it was through there, under here, out chest.
Wow.
Across this way and hit the rifle butt. So the surgeon who patched me up, he said another millimeter and I wouldn't be doing this, because it would have nicked the artery under the arm. And he said by the time somebody got to you, you would have bled to death. And my resting place would have been in Holland. Where I was shot at a place, it's just about on the German border, a place called Bathman. Yeah.
Were you just landing there, or were you there a day or two?
We were advancing and driving them out of Holland when this happened. This happened on, I was 20 years old plus 3 days. So, almost a teenager.
Yeah. So what was the physical pain like?
The physical pain, the one right at the beginning, none. But the whole side was numb. I went down like a sack of brick. And I didn't pass out. And the fellow who was leading our section at the time, he was patching up Dignam, I think was his name. Anyhow, he was shot in the stomach. He was farther than here at the corner from me. And he was saying, "Get up and get going, get up." And I said, "I was shot." And when he came over and looked, he said, "I guess you were." And while I was there, waiting for my turn, there was a fellow being brought into the tent, and he had 2 people supporting him, and his foot was dangling from there. So he tramped on a shoe mine, SHU. I wasn't thinking about dying, but this fellow who was being patched up, he was crying for his mother and wondering if he was going to die, and he did die, but he didn't make it to the first aid post. So one of the things that I sort of decided on my own is not to get too close to anybody in your outfit. I said, we were advancing towards enemy, and you could, or they could be injured. Yeah, there have been quite a few casualties. The killed were Jeff Johnson, he's sergeant, Corporal Campbell, Joe, he was real top notch, and Private Earl, I didn't know him, Rainey, and Digman. And wounded were Sergeant Moraes and Privates Arsenal, another Arsenal, Bertram, DeCoste, Ernst, Hart, Hicks, McGilvery, D.L. McDonald, McClellan, H.I. Nogler, O'Connell, O'Neill, Semple, Shanks, Thompson, Warren, Lieutenant Roper, he was our lieutenant. So that was the people who were injured on that skirmish.
Every year when I go to services, sometimes they're cold and they're miserable outside and it's really terrible. And I catch myself for that moment and I go, this is nothing compared to what those guys went through in those lean years. I can surely stand out here and have numb toes and numb fingers. So I want to say thank you.
Oh, thank you.